Right, so Chime. So I guess we're getting barred. Who would have thought, right? Grant the random ally in hand. Oh, it's in hand, not on board. What? Are there different boons then? Wait, this is pretty funny with Revena. Yeah, that's a very cool way to do hand buff. I actually really like this. This is the kind of stuff I like playing. When I am summoned, plant a chime on the top card of your deck. Beard? Hey, this is we have Beard and Bard. Yeah, there's no audio apparently. A 1-mana 2/1 is good. That's just good. It's just a good card. It's like an Omen Hawk, except it's a 2/1. I think this is better than an Omen Hawk because I'm expecting Chimes to have some form of payoff. Pretty interesting that this is Bandle City. Get the random ally in hand, +1/+1. Yeah, so you draw the card and a random ally gets +1/+1. I like that a lot. You have a lot more agency over that too because you can choose your mulligan, right? You can't really choose what Omen Hawk buffs. He's a bit round. He's a round boy. Oh wait, it's Bart over here. That's very cool. Alright. 2-mana 0/2 elusive from Targon. When I'm summoned, plant a chime on the top card of your deck. Support, grant my supported ally +1/+1. That's pretty good. This is a worse Young Witch unless the chime really matters. And I'm gonna assume that it does. Yeah, it's a 0/2, so I'm not sure how much that matters. This can also, assuming you are playing a Chime deck, right? This is likely not going to be a 0/2. This seems like a card to keep in your opening hand. If you curve this with Beard, this might be a 1/3. And if this is a 1/3 elusive in a read like Targon, that's pretty good. I like the name, Breath of the World. It's a, wait, was it Grant? Did I miss that? It's a Grant. Wow. If it's Grant, that makes this card a lot better. That's a good card. Because it's Grant. Granting is huge here. Granting is a very big deal. This is better than Tiari the Traveler by a large margin. 2-mana landmark, Mystic Vortex. When I'm summoned or when I count down, plant 3 chimes on random cards in your deck. Count down 2, draw 1. So that's 9 in total. And you draw 1. 9 chimes, and it's one more, it's 9. Do you see chimes in prediction? I don't think so, because you don't see flash bombs or puff caps either. Yeah, it's a 2-mana draw 1, but we're gonna assume that chimes matter here. We're gonna assume that there is some kind of payoff for having a lot of chimes, okay? I think that in a specific chime deck, and in a deck where you care about buffing your units, that's pretty good. By predicting, but they're in your deck, so it doesn't matter. Bar probably gonna level off triggering chime. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. This is pretty funny with Ava. Ava giving something in hand +2/+2. Well, but Karina doesn't work, right? Because Karina only looks at the enemy deck. But Karina, these are Targon Bandle City cards. So I'm assuming that Karina doesn't matter. They are boons, not traps. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, okay, maybe they don't count as traps. Okay, fair. Makes sense. They're not actually traps, you're right, because it says boon here. Which is great, too, because now we have stuff for your own deck, and that's probably going to keep being called a boon, and we have stuff for the enemy deck being called traps. That's a good distinction to make. That's pretty fun for moving forward if they ever decide to do more kind of traps. That's great. I like this R2 for some reason. Proximity Puff Cap. Deal 1 to a unit. If one of your traps or boons activated this round, deal 3 to it instead. That's pretty crazy, actually. Is it? It's unit? No, maybe it's not, because you want to play this early in the game, and it's really unlikely that you're triggering your traps early. And it's unit only. You can't do it on the enemy nexus. It also doesn't shuffle any shrooms. If this was fast speed, it would be one of the best cards for trap decks, for sure. I think this is hard to do. Yeah, it's 3 damage for 2 slow. You can compare this to Buster Shot, and Buster Shot has been good in certain decks. Even in decks where you wouldn't expect Buster Shot to be good, it's been played. But this should activate a lot more inconsistent. You're gonna feel so bad if this doesn't activate on a turn that matters. Like, getting unlucky with shrooms is gonna feel even worse. I don't think it's bad, but I think consistency is going to be a big deal here. Yeah, if Teemo Swain was still a deck, it would definitely be played there. Teemo Swain is probably the prime deck for this. Yeah, it is boons and traps, right? No, I'm sorry, I don't really see this one. Yeah, this has to be a flashbang card. But you start shuffling flashbangs pretty late. Yeah, it can definitely be backbreaking if this activates early. Yeah, sure, but if it doesn't activate, it's not good. 2 mana, slow speed, deal 1, and you have to activate that trap. It feels so bad if the trap doesn't activate. Okay, Chime is good because 2 of the cards that have been shown, put them on top of your deck. Consistency. Good. You start your mulligan because they are 1 and 2 drops. You literally keep the card in your hand that you want to be buffed. You keep your overwhelm units, you keep your elusive units, You keep your challenger units, anything. Any card that cares about being buffed, you keep in your hand when you see this little fella. Damn it, I was hoping it was lined up correctly. This little fella here. And then you buff your key units. But it all starts with Beard. You know, the thing I can't grow. It starts here. This is a fantastic card, and I expect Beard to be played outside of Chime-centric decks too. We don't know what Bard's level up is, how much a Bard deck will care about Chimes and drawing them or buffing stuff, and we'll see just how good Beard is because of that, but this we'll see play in many, many Battle City decks. Omen Hawk is so much... This card is a lot better than Omen Hawk. A lot better. If it's only for the +1 attack. If you have Beard on turn 1 and Esmus on turn 2, landing your Beard buff on Esmus is pretty big. That makes us a 1/3 elusive. 3 is a lot harder to remove than 2. And it's also in the Targon region. Targon is pretty great at keeping their units healthy, buffing up their units, and just making sure they stick around. You play Beard on 1, you're attacking on 2, the Beard buff lands on Esmus, you have a 1/3, you make Beard a permanent 3/2, and you're probably going to roll that game. That is a 1/3 elusive and a 3/2 that costs you 3 mana total. This also puts a Chime on top of your deck again to like keep the chain going, keep buffing stuff. And at that point, yeah, no, you're gonna walk away with the game. That's so strong. This is also very, very good with Taric. Yes, I agree. Esmus is going to be crazy in Taric decks. Snnuy takes are so much copium today. I really don't think so. Beard is a crazy good card. I think this card is worse than Beard. However, if this can be played in a Chime deck, and if this can be played in a Taric deck, it is better than Beard, potentially. It's Grand, yes. That's why this card is so crazy. An elusive unit that Grand supported ally +1/+1. I'm saying, like, in a Taric deck, you put Esmus on the left of Taric, then you put Taric, and then you put your Challenger unit. This might even make, like, I forgot the name. The Mountain Sojourners? Might even make them a lot better, too. This becomes a permanent +2/+2. Yeah, Laurent, exactly. Recalls are cute, but you're not gonna need that to make this card good. Is Ava work with Chime? We don't know yet. In the teaser video that Riot released during the Jin reveal, they said that they had a champion that would put trap champions, like, on their head. And they said if they would be able to pull out some crazy numbers. And I can't wait to see that. Getting Esmus from Crescendum, dude, that's pretty insane, actually. Bard's package is part Bannerline Targon. Just like Jin is Ionia Noxus, Bard will be Battle City Targon, yes. And I'm happy with that. We'll have to see what Bard does. Just like the Tentacle package is good standalone, these cards are going to be good standalone too. Tentacles are good standalone with Alawi though. These can go without Bard from what I'm seeing right now. I would honestly really enjoy seeing a Taric Bard deck, but we'll have to see what Bard's deck building restriction is. Like Jin can only put skill champions in his deck. We don't know what Bard will do. Bard level 2 going to be +2/+2. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Bard shuffle multiple Chimes and double their power or something. Or like just double the amount that are in your deck, just like Teemo. Teemo hits the Nexus and doubles the Shrooms. Imagine if Bard doubles or even triples the Chimes in your deck. Depending on that too, the fact that you are playing an elusive, even if it's a 0/2 in a deck like that, and the fact that it can be hit with multiple Chimes later, depending on what Bard's gonna do, is really, really good. Why is Beard better than Omen Hawk? Because it is +2/+1 and you get agency over where the buff lands. You can keep your 3 mana Overwhelm or your 4 mana Overwhelm in your hand, even if you were thinking about mulliganing it, even your late game cards with Overwhelm or Elusive, just so they can get buffed by Beard. Yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to be paired with Illaoi. Illaoi seems standalone. She just seems like a flexible unit that can see play with multiple regions. I like Illaoi Demacia, Illaoi Shurima, Illaoi Battle City. All seems pretty damn good. Alright, let's see. And then we have the Landmark. When you draw Chime, draw 1. Oh, you're gonna deck yourself so fast with that. This is a plant 9 Chimes total over 2 turns, and then you draw 1. I'm really surprised that people are saying this is good, because I don't see it. Good Landmark for Malphite? I don't see why. Startip Peak is so much better. This is worse than Startip Peak by a pretty large margin. And Startip Peak saw close to no play. How is this better than Start at Peak? I really want to know. 9 Chimes over like 30 plus cards is not a lot. It's a 2 mana draw 1, yeah, and you're not doing anything on board. It has meeps. Sure. This art has Bard in it, so it's better. Fair. Kind of worse Varium, not as guaranteed as the card that shuffle Chimes on top instead. That's why I think the other 2 cards are so good, because they literally shuffle it to the first card on top of your deck. That's insanely good. It will fully depend if Bard can use this. This card is only good if Bard synergizes with amount of Chimes in your deck. Drawing Chimes, drawing fast. Potentially good. But right now, bad. Esmus and Beard are good outside of whatever Bard may do. You could play those cards in a deck. Beard, we'll see play in a lot of Battle City decks. And it'll be good there. Esmus too. Esmus will slot into Taric if that deck still exists perfectly. This does not slot in anywhere, and it's way too slow. You also have to realize that Freljord Targon is a relatively weak region combination because they lack interactivity. So even if you play this with Freljord in like some kind of deck buff concept, it's not good because you're fully playing for tempo. And if you don't have that tempo, you fall behind and you have no comeback mechanics. The comeback mechanic in Targon's Peak, which is Targon and Freljord, is, well, getting a 0 mana She Who Wanders to swing the game instantly. Getting like extremely powerful cards for 0 mana. That's your comeback mechanic. Because all you're doing until then is falling behind on board. That's why mid-range Freljord Targon has historically not worked very well. 2 mana, conditional Destiny's Call. Ah, yes, yeah. You know what? If... Here's what we're gonna do, right? Alright, listen, guys. We're gonna play the... Alright, wait, let me actually open it up. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play this deck. We're gonna play Shurima Targon. Okay? We're gonna play this card with like one other unit that we have in hand. We're gonna play this. We're gonna draw all the landmarks in our deck. And because we played this on turn 2, one card will get +9. Finally, the sad tier payoff we have been requesting. One unit you want to buff? A Sandseer. Yeah, sure. The Sandseer combo we've been waiting for. There it is. It's finally good. +9/+9, delete your deck. Yeah, seems like a good deal to me. This is how you win with Sandseer. Not Piltover card. Xenotype Researchers in Shurima is kind of like Mystic Vortex that gets no play. And what's important there too is that Shurima has predict cards. And even with that synergy, it's not played. So I just don't... No, it's +9. +9 Chimes in total over 2 turns. 14 attack is not lethal. It is if you try hard enough. Aren't each of the Chimes going to be randomly assigned? Sure. So you could get +2 on one card. Yeah. Again, consistency is such a big deal in card games. And the landmark gives you none of that. Esmus and Beard do. Targon landmarks are just meant to be bad. It is the big sad. Beard is an 8 out of 10 for me. The fact that Beard is flexible and will likely be a centerpiece into progressing Bard is huge. Might even be a 9 out of 10, yes. A 1 mana 2/1 is just so good. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Beard is infinitely better than Omenok. Beard is a 3-of in any deck that is looking for a 1-drop. We have generally good 1-drops. Like in Targon, it used to be like Lunari Dustbringer, Spacey Sketcher. In Shurima, it is Treasure Seeker. I expect Beard to be slightly worse than Treasure Seeker. Treasure Seeker is a 10 out of 10 card. Every time you're making a Shurima deck, you put in Treasure Seeker. It's that good. I think Beard is worse than that. However, it's still going to be so good that anytime you build a Battle City deck, Beard will be in it as a 1-drop. Yordle Squire used to kind of be that. Not even that much. Yordle Squire was good for Aphelios, I guess. Because you can give that +1 to the Librarian. It's also good in some cards that care about the discard. I like playing Yordle Squire in my discard deck with Rumble. Yordle Squire will be a better 1-drop in that deck. No, Beard is nothing like Mentor. Mentor gives +1 attack. +1 health is so much better. 9 out of 10 for me. Extremely good 1-drop. Every time you're going to build a Battle City deck, you're going to consider Beard. Esmus is a 7 or an 8. Esmus will see play in Chime decks if it matters. Even if Chimes don't matter as much, it will probably still be really good. It's going to see play in Taric decks. It might even see play in some Zoe decks where you can buff. Like, Gems on Esmus is also quite good. Buffing up an elusive that can keep granting your other allies +1/+1 is very strong. Oh, sorry. My bad. It was too high. There you go. Thank you for pointing that out. Esmus plus Poppy, very good. I'll check that out later, Claptrap. The problem with these two cards is that this is Battle City and this is Targon. So you have to kind of rate them independently because you're not... Like, it will depend on Bard. Oh, that's actually really interesting. Oh, okay. Whoa, wait a second. I didn't even think about that. These two are obviously meant to go in a Bard deck. If we are to assume that Bard is a Runeterra champion, he will want to play both of these. So that will likely mean that there is some kind of overlap between these two cards that Bard will care about, because Bard can only pick one region. Bard will most definitely be able to use both. There is some kind of overlap in these two cards that will be Bard's region requirement. And I would bet that Bard will indeed be traps and boons. You can use any card that has any kind of boon and trap. Or, yeah, any kind of stat increase. Yes, that has to be it. Yeah. Esmus, for me, right now, is a 7 or an 8 still. IWAP, thank you for gifting a sub. Yo, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, buddy. Welcome to the channel, Cora Gen MMCZ. I think it's boon and support / buffs. Could very well be, yes. Okay, Esmus, I'm going to rate a 7 out of 10 because having 0 attack is not great. If these were in the same region, I would make this an 8. Because Beard into Esmus is a crazy curve. You're very welcome. I appreciate your content, especially long analytical YouTube videos. There is one coming up really soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's close. It's very close. Boon is random though, not for these two, because they put them on the top card of your deck. 7 out of 10 because it is a 0 attack minion, and if you're playing a Taric deck, you will likely not be buffing this up to any kind of meaningful attack in the early turns. With a Beard deck, this could be a 1/3 on turn 2, and then it can make your Beard a permanent 3/2. That is extremely powerful. This card will see play in Taric decks because of the Grant, and playing this on 2 into the Laurent Bladekeeper or Laurent Protégé, whatever the name is, the 2/4 Challenger on turn 3, very powerful curve. Getting a permanent 3/5 Challenger is very good. 7 out of 10, because it requires some kind of synergy. But if it does get that synergy, it's a great card. All right. And then we have Mystic Vortex. I don't like this one. I want it to be good, but I don't think it is. This is a 4 out of 10 for me. Potentially, this is a 6 or a 7 if the chimes matter. But we don't know that right now. So right now, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. I think there is some value in playing this in a deck that cares about these buffs and that play a lot of cards that care about being buffed and draw cards. Outside of that, it's unplayable. It's not insane. It's really not. You're planting 9 chimes. You draw 1. That's not good value. You're paying 2 mana to do absolutely nothing. Preservarium is not even that good of a card, but it's like, you know, you're getting 1 extra card at the end of it, and you get 1 card immediately. Attach cards? Oh yeah, with attach cards, this is pretty good. Any of these cards are good with attach. How to include with Bards? That skill with chimes? Sure. But we don't know what Bard does. You don't play this card with Esmus or Beard necessarily. But yes, Chimes are crazy with attach. Again, if there are any cards that care about being buffed a lot that is in this deck, Mystic Vortex could potentially be very, very good. But we don't know that right now, so I'm rating it a 4 out of 10, because right now you don't want to put this in any deck. Right now it would even be a 3 out of 10. Proximity Puffcap is very hard to rate. I will give it a 6 out of 10. I'm only giving it a 6 out of 10 because of the synergy with Beard. This is good with Flash Bombs. The Flash Bombs have been bad. This is not good with Puff Caps. Puff Caps are too random. You can never guarantee this effect. With Beard, you can guarantee it, and they are in the same region. It's also 2 mana slow. Slow makes this really awkward. You play the earliest good Flash Bomb planter, which is Caitlyn, on turn 3. That means that the first 2 turns, this will likely just be a ping for 1. You can't activate this reliably early, except with Beard. I love the fact that you can bluff the Proximity Puff Cap. You can play Beard on turn 2, and then you will draw the Chime next turn. This will be active on turn 3. You can stop your opponent from playing 1 key unit. That's very good. Again, these two cards have the potential to be great, but we don't know that right now. And again, it's very interesting to note that we got 2 Battle City cards and 2 Targon cards for traps, when Bard is supposedly a Runeterra champion. So there will be some kind of overlap between all of this. And I am very excited. Tomorrow is going to be huge. Tomorrow, there is going to be so much to go through.